box of mixed biscuits and a biscuit mixer. A box of biscuits. A box of mixed biscuits. Hey, what's going on, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, from the dingy and opaque confines of my office here, we are live and we are bad. How is everybody? Got Mexican Spec in the chat. Dino Spumoni in the chat. Mike N32451 saying, hurry up, Ari. I got to head to Dollar Tree. Getting low on stuff. Miss Olive Drab's in the chat. What am I missing, guys? How's the week treating you? Aunt D is in the chat. Welcome, brother. Mopar Man 1978 is here. The Kickendales Auto and Random Repairs. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. Ate Grace is in the chat. Howdy, Grace. How are you? Mexican Spec scene. Easy on the water, Ari. No bathroom breaks allowed. You know, admittedly, after a couple hours, it does make a difference. The Food Nerd is in the chat. Howdy, Ma. And D saying, doing good. How's the new job treating you? It's treating me, man. Kickendales Auto and Random Repairs saying, learned a valuable lesson yesterday. Never crank up Queen. Have a good time in your headset while riding a motorcycle. Wound up pulling 107.5 on the back road until I realized it. I believe it, Mike. Ate Grace is doing good. Watching from San Antonio with love. Right on, Grace. Yeah, you've had a couple Texas live streams. I haven't had a chance to join in, but I definitely will once I get the chance. If you guys want some cool content, check out Ate Grace. She's got some cool stuff going on there. But yeah, Mike, I believe it, man. If you got something that'll scoot and you get the right tunes going, you're gone, man. Absolutely gone. Absolutely gone. Brian M's in the chat. Brian, I forgot to text you back, brother. I'm bad about that. Have you noticed? Yeah, I'm just hanging out over here, lazy Sunday night. I got some of Bear Rose's live, and then I jumped onto Tony's, and here we are. Entropy, folks. Entropy. We're talking about it all over there. Like I said, was laughing my butt off. The girlfriend wasn't laughing when she saw the telemetry data from the bike this evening. Yeah, that's pretty quick, man. 107.5. So that's up there. Cousin Mike saying, I just fell down and here I am. Down the rabbit hole. What's going on, Mike? How are you, brother? Oh, man. Dave Lewis is in the chat. Howdy, Dave. He's saying, damn, it's Sunday night already. That happened fast, didn't it? And tomorrow's Monday night, which means Cousin Mike will be live. Mexican Spec saying, I forgot to feed all my animals. Let them hunt. You know what I mean? It's good for them to get back to their natural, state, Ryan, I'm saying, does anybody want some Hungarian wax chilies? That's not a slang for something, is it, Brian? Yeah, just chilling over here. Got hold on, let me get the cat in screen here for you. There he is. Look at him. Look at him. That's Hubie's cat. Right there. Hubie's fifth cat. Hank Hubie. Oh man. But yeah, pretty decent day over here. Nothing too crazy. I watched The California Kid with Hubie. Chilled out. Nothing to it. Brian, I'd definitely like to try some of the chilies, man. You know, I'm always with the spicy. BNR Racing's in the chat. Howdy, Brian. Opar man saying, "What's that growth on the couch?" Oh, it's the cat. Yes, yes. The couch has grown a cat. Hubie's cat. Lazy cat. Kicking Dow is saying, "Al, I'm off to bed with the girlfriend. Keep the rubber on the road and the music cranked up loud, brother." Hey, I'm glad you stopped in, man. I hope you had a good weekend and everything. Have a great week, brother. Be safe. You know, I guess you don't have to be safe, man, but check your fluids. What a lazy cat. Brian, it's been pretty expensive for a while. Last year, it was like this for months. It was around $6, $7 a gallon, but it seemed almost like the past couple days it happened. It seemed like the past couple days it happened because I remember I think I went down Thursday afternoon. I got some gas and it was about $4.60, a little more than that maybe for 87. And all of a sudden today I left and I looked this morning down here and it was six something. And then I was like, okay, you know, maybe it's a South County thing. And then I went up to the other side of the county and it was the same. So Nate Mayfield's in the chat. Howdy, brother. Welcome. Dean saying, BNR, hope you're well prepped. Tomorrow looks okay today. Uh, $5 to $7 per gallon. Yeah, you know what I mean? I can do it like five or a little less than five I can do, but once it gets up towards seven, that's a little ridiculous. You know, that truck does all right on gas, but you know, it's nothing spectacular, so. Hubie's Garage is in the chat. Welcome, Hubie. Holden Man TC saying, "Hi, mate." It's Holden Man TC into the chat. Welcome, brother. How are you? Cousin Mike saying, "I need to get back to my Sunday bubble bath during your live." See, this is why I need a StreamYard, so you can join in from the bubble bath. Hubie, I was just showing off. I was just showing off your fifth cat over here, Hubie. Look at him. Look at him. That's old Hank Hubie, right there. Yeah. uh, this joke is it's kind of long going. That's not really Hubie's cat, for the record. I just like saying it. He's not entertained by this at all. Just keep pushing it. Andy saying, "Looks like I need to get an overdrive in my F100." Yeah, pretty much, man. It's a little bit. It's a little bit excessive. Dean saying, "Watch your permissions, Landon. I upset John Cope last times I was in the bath." You know, I saw this picture of John Cope and Yul Brynner, and then I realized that it was Jeff from Two Hacks Garage, not Yul Brynner. Tabo Garage is saying, "My cat." He's a cool one, huh, Tabo? He's a good cat. Mexican Spec saying, "My four felines and four canines are all fed. Now it's my turn." I had a decent dinner. I had some chicken. Hubie was kind enough to buy me a breakfast burrito this morning, which was delicious. Hubie's Garage is saying they can be confused. I think he's talking about Yul Brenner and Jive Hype Jeff. And D saying just paid 3 something for a gallon the other day. Yeah, pretty much. I paid again 4 something on Thursday, and now sure enough, I'm up. It was up to 6 something at the not the same gas station, but within a few miles of the same gas station. So that's something. And Hubie, I don't know if you saw my comment, my reply to your comment, but that wasn't South County prices. That was around the corner from you. Brian M saying, how long were you in a food coma after eating that burrito? I had to get over it, Brian. I had to get over the food coma. I'm still kind of feeling it. Honestly, I need to go down, but I'm still going. It's about 320. Nate's saying it's about 320 here in Western Kentucky. See, that's reasonable. I can deal with that. Mopar Man saying it's 359, a little more in brand. Yeah, exactly. Nathan's Mopar Garage is in the chat. Howdy, Nathan. Welcome, brother. How did the week treat you? Did anything cool happen? Did anything life-changing happen? Yeah, Hubie, I was a little bit concerned because it seemed like overnight it went up to about $2. Jason's Garage is in the chat. Howdy, brother. Welcome. How's it going? Hubie saying I took a 2-hour nap after that gut bomb burrito. Yeah, nap was probably in order. Terrence Seymour's in the chat saying, hey guys, just out in the shed cleaning and stripping my diesel Hilux head to do the valve stem seals. Nice, man. You've been busy lately, Terrence. You had all the wiring on a Chrysler. It's a lot of stuff, man. Isn't it almost time for the fishing trip? X-Conspec saying it's about $5.57 US here for a gallon, 24 per liter at 16.50 exchange rate. So that's like $5 is like 1,400 pesos. So that's steep. Olden Man TC saying, you like the Mad Max cars, man? Yeah, I love Mad Max. That movie was great, man. We're headed to those times. Mopar Man saying, I'd rather have the 175 per gallon here. Mopar Man, I haven't seen less than $2 a gallon since the 90s. Cousin Mike saying you can have my Thunderbird mileage. Yeah, 428 mileage probably. I don't know why I'm complaining at all. Hubie's Garage saying, all right, we need to get you a Costco card for fuel. I paid $4.99 on my last fill up. I parked the Duramax with the $6.50 a gallon for diesel. Now, yeah, it couldn't hurt. It really couldn't hurt. Whatever I could do to save a couple bucks. Tavo's saying, doing the conversions, we're paying about $5 US per gallon down here, about $9 Australian per imperial gallon. Still not exactly cheap. But once you get up towards 6 and 7, it's pretty ridiculous. To me, at least, it's pretty ridiculous. Even when I had the 6-cylinder in the truck, that was just killing me. Brian saying goes up to $5, $7 a gallon, 80 to 8 for 87 there. He's going to have to stop driving the 454 daily. Driving 700 miles a week now for work. Yeah, man, that's probably... Mike N saying, Mad Max Beyond Thunderbird. Mom's saying, when I was a kid, it was 68 cents a gallon. And there were orange groves as far as the eye could see. Hubie's Garage is saying, not that I'm praising $4.99 a gallon. Yeah, but that's more reasonable than 6 something, especially for just 87. Cousin Mike saying, our gas is cheaper though, so you still pay more. Terrence is saying, yeah, once I get the Hilux reconditioned, they will all be on the road again. And the fishing trip is November 4th, so I need the Hilux going by then. Nice, man. Cousin Mike saying I think a regular is $3.99. So, yeah, I can manage that. Mopar Man saying when Trump was in office, the gas stations down the road from me had gas 87 octane for 175 a gallon. That's unreal, man. Ma. UB's Garage is saying on my drive to Montana, gas was cheapest in Utah, 10 cents more a gallon in Idaho, and 10 to 20 cents more a gallon in Montana. Dean's saying, don't mention the orange groves, Ari. You'll freak out Mexicans. All the Mexican spec seems to have some kind of phobia with fruit trees. I don't know what that's about. Ryan, I'm saying, just be glad our cars don't run on methane. Last time I bought fuel for my RC vehicles was $20 a gallon. Jeez. Olive saying Georgia's been pretty reasonable last I looked. Yeah, it has to be. The state minimum wage is like 3 pence or whatever. Hubie's Garage is saying, like your phobia with propellers and the trees. Propellers spinning. Yeah, kind of like that. Brian's saying, one gas station off Interstate 80 in Peru, Illinois, fill up at 93 octane for $4.09 a gallon. UT truck stop. Otherwise, 93 octane is 5 plus. That's badass. I wish I could get 93 for 4 or 5. I'd be a happy man. Yes, Mexican Spec's talking about his feud with the mango tree. Dan's got plenty of methane, but no nitro. Dan, I don't know if I greeted you. Welcome, brother. Yeah, Danny Boy, that's Uncle Corn Pop. Darren Seymour's saying, Mexican Spec, yeah, stem seals, 2 broken compression rings, 1 oil ring, and 1 big end bearing was very close to spinning. Hey, as long as it's serviceable, right? Ryan's saying, my neighbor gave me an RC helicopter, unfortunately left the batteries in the remote, and the battery trashed the remote. That's probably for the better, Brian. We don't need RC helicopters. Huey can hear the trains, yeah. Yeah, I think that was just probably the Metrolink popping through. BNSF doesn't come through until later at night. Terrence is saying I only done maybe 3 oil changes in 21 years, so not bad. BNR is asking if Dakota checked in. He hasn't checked in here yet, but he was working on his Trans Am. He just uploaded another video, I think today, Brian, so you want to check that out. Hubie, much like that. And then if they're actually really laden, like a heavier train, they'll actually shake this office, which is kind of cool. That's more like the Blues Brothers, I guess. Back to the important stuff here. Just make sure we got Hubie's cat on camera. Look at him. Charlie Roma's in the chat. Welcome, brother. How are you doing? We're just checking out Hubie's cat right now. He's getting a nap in. Hubie saying Homeland Security flies in helicopters here at 3 a.m. sometimes. It wakes you. Yeah, I could imagine that it's right there. Hubie's Garage is saying Vader hissed at Hank. Vader. Lazy A-Hole Ranch is in the chat. Howdy, Allie. How are you? What a cute kitty. Thank you. He's a sweet cat. He's a good cat. I was just watching Tony's live stream before this, and we were kicking back. He was sitting on me, and once I started fidgeting too much, he migrated. So that's where he is now. Older Man TC saying, "Hi everyone. What's your favorite dream cars and trucks?" I mean, my dream truck I own. It's a 1960 Chevy Apache 10. Dream car? That's tough to choose. You know what I mean? It'd probably have to be something like a Cadillac, Pontiac, some kind of land yacht. Hubie saying Tony was entertaining. Always, always. I love when he gets on his good rants like that. It's it's definitely worth listening to. I mean, the guy's got a lot to say. You know, he doesn't really, he's steeped in a lot of this information. You got Arlie's Delights in the chat. He's saying hello, host, and all in live here to support for a bit. Thanks so much for stopping in, Arlie. If you guys aren't subscribed to Arlie's Delights, it's a cooking channel. She does a lot of great things. Lately, she's been baking. I believe the last video was apple fritters, which I haven't finished the video, but I did see it, Arlie. Her channel's definitely worth a glance. And a subscribe, and a share, and a like. Nathan's Mopar Garage saying Tony was chasing rabbits. Tabo Garage is saying my dream car is a 70 Aussie Valiant. That's a Tabo. Is it a similar body style to the US Valiants, or is there a huge difference? I like those cars. They're just light. I like the torsion bar suspension. Pretty dang cool. EB's Garage is saying we had a 57 Chevy wagon with a 350 that I built for my wife. I have a video of it on my channel. That thing's sweet, man. The more pictures I see of it, what an amazing job you did on that car. That thing is beautiful. One-Eyed Cat's in the chat saying bled the brakes, fired it up, and put the wheels back on today. Dropping it off the stand in the morning. Alignment appointment at 9 a.m. Nice, man. Lucas VR, I'm gonna skip that one, but welcome to the chat just the same. Colleen Tebow's in the chat saying, "Are you coming to the No Name Nationals?" I am not. I am not. I really wish I was. It would be very cool to head down there and actually, see everybody, and it'd be really nice to race something. That's for sure. But I don't think I'll be able to make it down. Current situation and funds are not permitting. But to all of my friends and any, subscribers who are going to the No Name Nationals, that's awesome. Please be safe. I hope everything goes very well without a hitch. And, I hope everything breaks on the track and not on the way there or back. Put it that way. You guys are awesome. Tabo Garage is saying our Valiants are based 100% on Plymouth platform, but every outer panel has subtle to major differences. I'm going to have to look it up, Tabo. Holy Man TC saying my dream car is a Chevy 57 wagon with a big block 350. Please let me know if anyone has one for sale. Hubie, I think, it is this weekend if I'm not mistaken. One-Eyed Cat saying the interior looks nice, new carpet, and Wendy did a wonderful job scrubbing the seats. The white is white again. That's badass. And then you got new floors and everything. You guys have done a lot of great work to that car. Uh, One-Eyed Cat saying the gates open on Wednesday. Brian saying I found Dakota's video, Ari, from tonight. It appears to be a 1970 400 Pontiac. Nodular crankshaft, 400 main caps, 2-bolt mains, but blocked and drilled for 4-bolt mains. Windage tray equipped. Weren't you telling him to ditch the windage tray? John Goggins in the chat. Howdy, John. How are you, man? Carlos Martinez. My friends call me Joey saying Mr. T 2.0 is restreaming you. Just a heads up. Do I even want to know? Hopefully it's not too bad. He says, why is he restreaming you? What did you do to him? Did you say something to him? I don't know if I did, but I don't know. That's kind of cool. I'll take it. Bad publicity is still publicity. I don't even know, man. The live streams have been kind of funky lately. Yesterday we had a bunch of kids pop in. I felt like I was Mr. Rogers. I have no idea. BNR Racing saying he was missing the special lower dipstick tube that passes through the factory Pontiac V8 windage tray. Ran no dipstick while he ran out of oil. I tell him every weekend to check his fluids. Every weekend. QB's Garage is saying yesterday was wild. You were on the spam wagon. Yeah, it's a shame I don't have more moderators. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm not sure. Mexican spec, that's classic. Andy saying, got to call it a night. See you next week. Have a great night, brother. See you next week. Be safe out there. Make sure to check your fluids, man. Hubie's Garage is saying, yep, they stayed in line okay. There's the train, see? You can actually see it. Shakes a little bit. There you go. Brian saying it's a 3-piece dipstick tube assembly on muscle car era Pontiac V8s, upper middle pressed into block. Oh, weird. Lazy A saying I was trying to mod that one dipstick in the chat, but the YouTube app wouldn't let me. I think I might have to go into my YouTube settings because Mopar Man's been having some trouble with moderating stuff too. But I'm always just on my phone. I need to actually fire up that old laptop and then see what I can do there. John Goggins saying attack the spammers with drones. No one deserves drones. Olive's talking about Rock Island Firearms. Aren't they like they're like Filipino made or something? I know they make like 1911s and little remakes like that. Brian saying, yes, unique to the Pontiac V8. I like some of that Pontiac stuff, but I don't know a damn thing about it. I don't think I've ever even worked on a Pontiac motor. I've worked on Cadillacs, worked on a couple Buicks. Arlie's saying, I really don't know much about cars, but I learn something every day. Yeah, I mean, same here, Arlie. I don't know much. I'm always learning. One-Eyed Cat saying, oh, and for icing on the cake, we prepped a whole venison quarter for on a campfire. We don't go hungry. Yeah, it's going to be fun over there. All I'm saying, possibility one of their 1911s cheap came up, wondering if it's junk. I've never owned one personally, but I've had them suggested to me by people who kind of knew their stuff. So I assume they're all right. I mean, it's still it's a steel pistol. You know, it's going to feel pretty good, decent. The Springfield 1911s really aren't that much more expensive, and those things are pretty amazing. Brian saying my favorite style of drone is the military one with Hellfire missiles. Brian saying Pontiac V8 has more torque than a Mopar 440. Built right spank a 426 Hemi race. I got to see that. 440s are pretty crazy machines. Colleen's asking when they're leaving to the No Name Nationals. Olive saying, well, if it's pretty basic, and especially if I can change things, kind of particular stale thing, rather than going shopping, I wouldn't pass it up, Olive. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. If it's reasonable, I mean, if it's that good of a price, it's not trash. It's definitely not trash. Poor man saying he had a good one up there. It was helpful. Where'd it go? I saying Rock Island Armory is in Davenport, Iowa. The ammo was made in the Philippines. Now I'm wondering who's restreaming me and why. Mopar man saying any 1911 pistol will shoot, field tested, loose tolerance, just like the SKS and AK-47. Mexican specs talking Toyota trucks. Holden Man TC's headed to a car show. Have a great week, brother. Be safe. Check your fluids. Olive saying, yeah, not asking too much. If I were spending real money, I'd be more specific to tastes. It's a good tool, especially if you can get it for a decent price. QB saying, I saw live Buck does it as he live of Buck does it as he was driving. I think he was already driving to the No Name Nationals. Buck's actually been there since last year. He's been faking this entire time, saying he's at his house working on things. One-eyed cat saying, I'm leaving Tuesday, stopping near Cleveland at Uncle's house for an overnight visit. Then heading to Sykeston Wednesday morning. Hopefully get there by 4 to 5 p.m. Nice, man. Mopar man saying I have a P14 Para Ordnance, 1911 pistol with Colt match grade, barrel 45 caliber, factory 14 round clips. That's rad. 14 is pretty decent. Brian saying most powerful factory built Pontiac V8. Okay. V8 was the 1963 SD 421, 13.5 to 1 compression ratio with Mickey Thompson magnesium tunnel ram. Rated low at 410 horsepower. Was actually 550 horsepower. Lazy Ace saying there seem to be some channels on YouTube that just stream other live streams. That's very like TikTok of them. Like I don't really want to have my own content, but I'm gonna turn someone else's content into content. Whatever. If they can make a buck, I'll take it. It's the risk you run putting your face on the internet. One-eyed cat saying Hubie Buck is visiting in Tennessee for a few days, then heading on Wednesday, I think. No, one-eyed cat, he's already there. He's been in Sykeston since last year. He lives under the raceway. Yeah, Dan, that's why. Able D's in the chat. Add zeros in the chat. He's saying, what's up, mods? I don't think he feels exclusive enough, guys. Uh, Dave Lewis is saying civilian marksmanship program has 1911 government pistols on lottery sale now. Dang. I I really, my buddy's got one of those Springfields, and I think that thing's pretty sweet. Hungarian wax chilies. Hubie's garage is saying, "Hey, the thumb is the other woman." Yeah, this is a '61 Chevy I was working on this week. Just a little tiny bit of work. Able D saying Glocks are cool for Minecraft. There really is a difference, between the steel and the composite. It's not the same. He's talking about Mark Chopper Reed. Brian saying Pontiac head engineer Malcolm McKellar was a street racer at night. In 1959, he built a dual overhead cam 389 that legend states made 750 horsepower all motor. Jeez. All this saying I don't like Glocks to shoot for some reason on paper. I'm telling you, it's that composite. It's not. It's like it's like drive by wire. It's just not. It's not the same. Danny Boyd saying I teacher had a '61 Bel Air back in 1980, but it was rusted. Yeah, Hubie's talking about the '61 Apache, Target Master 350, Turbo 400, and a Gear Vendors overdrive. And of course, Hubie, the only thing that leaks on that whole thing is that stupid Turbo 400. My most hated transmission. I'm kidding, Hubie. Able DC, I love my hunting rifle with Woodstock and 303 Brit. You really like that British stuff, huh, Abel? One-eyed cat saying, "Well, people, I only had a few minutes, but I had to stop by and say hello, drive safe, and check the air in your tires." One-eyed cat, I'm glad you guys were able to get all the work done and everything. I hope the alignment goes well, and you be safe out there, brother. Check your fluids. Have a great week, you and Wendy as well. Yeah, Dan, that would be a 61 would still be a bubble top. QB's garage is saying I have a switch pitch turbo 400 in my red and white 55 Chevy. What's the little what's the little wire? The one it's got that little spade connector on the side of the turbo 400, and it's got this little plastic plug in there with an O-ring that leaks on every single one that I've ever dealt with. It can leak there, it'll leak off the pan gasket, it'll leak off the shift shaft seal. Yeah, that's the kickdown, huh, Dave? Yeah, exactly. That thing. That thing. Abel D's talking about St. Morrissey. Yeah, the electric kickdown on the Turbo 400. Why does it, it's a little plastic thing with an O-ring and it just leaks. You be saying lots of passes on the Turbo 400 and I only had to replace the governor on it. Yeah, I tell you what, UB, that's like the one thing, because I don't mind helping them with all that truck, especially with the tune-up stuff and everything else, but getting into the Turbo 400 doesn't sound like fun. Dave Lewis is saying Turbo 400 with the trans brake is my go-to. Outfits Garage is in the chat saying, I'm hitting a sack, but wanted to say hi. Howdy, Russell. Glad to see you, brother. Sunday's a full day for Russell. Always. I'm glad you guys got the truck together, man. Everything was looking great, sounding great. And you guys were really hustling on that. But you have a great night, brother. Have a great week. Be safe out there. Head into the No Name Nationals. Kick some ass, of course, but be safe. Check your fluids, brother. Outfits saying, yes, it runs better now. We fixed the carb. I need to do the same thing, man. That cute Quadrajet's like about the only thing that's acting funny on that truck anymore. I think I have dies to load 303 British. I think I do. Funny Cave Haha is in the chat saying, I'm from Brazil. Welcome from Brazil. Glad to have you in the chat. Yeah, Hubie, and the annoying exhaust leak. That's been getting to me. But you know what I mean. As much work as was done to the truck within the span of a month. I figure I can live with the exhaust leak. BNR saying Turbo 400 was made for a heavy 1.5 ton truck originally. Was still in engineering. Then Cadillac, seeing the advantage of it, got one in at 1964. Yeah, BNR, I know that. I know that one. My buddy's got a 66 C20 with a Turbo 400 in it. Dave Lewis is saying, my combos don't like power glides, lose about 5/10. Well, you got it down to a science, Dave. I don't doubt you, man. Same with Hubie. He's been running that truck, or that car for so long. He's bound to know a thing or two. Mopar Man saying, I buy the Winchester Super X 303 rounds for hunting. Has 180 grain jacketed soft point rounds. But like the World War II bandolier with stripper clips on the 303 full metal jackets. Mopar Man, the Q-Jet is still got that little off-idle, like cold stumble, and a little bit of dieseling on shut-off when it's warm. So it's been pretty annoying. I should probably just buy a rebuild kit for it, but I'm cheap and lazy. He'd be saying it's a big loss, which is funny because everybody touts the Power Glide for drag racing purposes. You know what I mean? They're like, no, Power Glide, aluminum Power Glide. Even Hubie was so eager to take that cast iron Power Glide. I'm just kidding, no. Yeah, small potatoes, Hubie. You know what I mean? I need to keep punking on it. Part of me is like, I really do want to address the issues with the QJ, rebuild it, go through it and everything. I just don't really have the provisions to do so right now. A lot of me wants to use that 750 Holly I have with the vacuum secondary, see if that makes a difference. And then part of me wants to just get an Edelbrock and never think about it. But yeah, the Turbo 400, it's a good transmission. I had a bad experience with one just because of Ray. When I worked at his other shop, he had me pop one open, and he gave me the lovely little bit of misinformation that I had to drop the valve body to change the shift shaft seal, which you do not have to do. So my absolutely green ass had to drop the valve body on this trans. The check balls fall everywhere. It was not a good day. And that stupid plastic. UB's Garage is saying he'd be saying that I'd have the smog high idle smog solenoid from the cube yet. I don't remember. I'm not sure about that. I think I asked about it, but oh, it's not sure. I don't know why it's trying to censor you, Nathan. Paul Pahui saying, howdy, Paul. Welcome to the chat, man. He's saying Power Glide is only good for light cars. Ryan M saying Ray doesn't know crap. Yeah, he's a moron. Uh, yeah, Nathan's Mopar saying lost your balls. Yeah, check balls just all fell right into the pan. I'm like, okay, that's great. Hubie's Garage is saying that 750 will just dump more of that expensive fuel down to Manny. You know, if it works, it works. If I can get better throttle response and a little bit of top end, I wouldn't mind, I guess. Ryan saying Summit Racing used to sell a real nice quadrijet replacement made by Holly for Summit, had annular boosters. Look for one. Always crate your balls. Yeah, the check balls spilled everywhere. I was upset. Could be a vac leak, Mopar, man. I guess I could check. Yeah, Olive. I mean, it wasn't an issue of retrieving the balls so much as where to put them once they were retrieved. You'd be saying it'll wake up the upper RPM range, that's for sure. That I think it'd be kind of cool just to see the difference. You know what I mean? It's not like I drive it, like because it's an economical thing. Abel D saying Ari, so your truck is ready for the track. That truck's never been ready for the track, Abel. Ryan's saying the Offenhauser 360 dual port intake you have, Ari. I had one on my 65 Olds 425 V8. It wants super rich jetting. Port velocity is super high now. I do have it running pretty rich. I try to have the truck running. If I can't taste the fuel when I'm warming it up, I know something's wrong. Funny Cave Haha is saying, what do you think of Brazil? I am Brazilian. I think Brazil is wonderful. I think it's a great place. It's rich in culture. I don't think anyone there likes Bolsonaro at all. No, it's great. I've had a lot of friends that go down there for jiu-jitsu camps, and they talk about how beautiful it is. But just the same, I think it's a great place, man. At Zero saying Armageddon is on. Did you know the original idea that became Team America was to make this movie with puppets? It's so stupid I have to watch it. UB's Garage is saying, I've got a 20 pack of 4 barrel gaskets, easy to swap, bring your wallet. You won't pass many gas stations. uh, Funny Cave Haha saying, I do not speak English very well. That's okay. I don't speak any Portuguese, man. You won't pass many gas stations. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, as it is, she uses a good bit of gas, so it's like, I don't know. Mopar man saying, I got an Edelbrock 600 I rebuilt for sale, $100. Mopar man, definitely might take you up on that, man. Speak a word in Portuguese. I don't know. I don't think I know anything in Portuguese. Not even a basic hello. Um, yeah. Hubie's Garage is saying, did you have a Farsi speaker on yesterday's live? No, no, that was a gentleman named Dimitri. He was spelling everything in Cyrillic, and Buff Del Campo actually can speak Russian and read Cyrillic. So he was translating, which was really cool. Brian saying, I need a lot of spare quadrajets to rob for different metering parts, to tune, try different combinations. That's what I was thinking, Brian. I'm probably just going to try to hoard a couple and mess with them. What is that? Cachorro Cuente. I probably just said I'm a douchebag or something in Portuguese, but I said it. Yeah, Brian saying Holly is much more flexible to tune, get excellent results. You know what I mean? I'd like to mess with it. Just try different things on the truck. You know what I mean? Cachorro Cuente equals rot dog. Nice. John Goggins saying obrigado means hello, I think. I really don't know. I mean, I've heard, I've heard some Portuguese yelled like during, jujitsu class and stuff, but I didn't understand what anybody was saying, so I didn't hold on to much of it. Yeah, I don't know. My favorite part of Team America is the Durka Durka, Mulla Mulla. Because when my grandma and my dad will be speaking Farsi to each other and I don't understand what they're saying, I'll start doing that. I'll be like, Durka Durka, Mulla Mulla. And they get upset about it. John Goggins saying, I remember it oddly because arigato is hello in Japanese and it sounded similar to me. Haka Sherpa Sherpa, Murla Mulla. I really love that part of them. Oh, man. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's like I've been reading the QJet book that Dave got me. Thank you again, Dave. I can't thank you enough. And, it makes me want to mess with the QJet a little more. My issue now is that I don't have access to a decent set of drill bits anymore. And I'm too cheap to buy them for myself. The Kimball Midwest drill bits are really high quality, but they're like 300 something a set, more if you get the cryo. So, I mean, I'm just kind of reluctant on that. But I definitely would like to mess with the QJet. I don't like replacing things until I've kind of messed with them or, I understand them a little better. Good old Dan. I got that perfectly good 750 sitting there. What I need to do is just spend the money on a decent carb adapter spacer so I can throw the square bore carbs onto that off the intake. And then, I can mess around with whatever. I can get a Carter, use that, Edelbrock, use that, run a Holly if I feel like. If I had more money to throw around, I'd get I'd get something weird, I guess. I'd try dual quads. You know what I mean? Get a tri-power. I don't know. There's all kinds of cool stuff out there. That's the beauty of the small block Chevy. It's just like, yeah, Hubie said, 4 deuces. Wonder how much that intake would cost, though. Charlie. I know that some of those older cross ram intakes are they're like $2,600. They're insanely expensive, but you know, like I said, with the small block Chevy, the sky's the limit. It's not like I can't find parts. It's not like I can't adapt things. So that's to be considered. Really, these people getting married. Poor, poor, poor souls. Hubie, that the Offie manifold was it wasn't dual port, but it was still a cool intake. I should have probably just held on to the Edelbrock that I had, but I don't know. I was just anxious to get rid of something, I guess. Leave it to me to keep all my useless crap and then sell the one useful thing I got. That's Zero saying, see, my problem with traveling outside my beloved country, besides not having any money, is every place is just filled with immigrants. Oh, that's right, Hubie. You're talking about the one that was in Arizona. That's right. That's right. Charlie's saying all the cool intakes are outrageously expensive. Yeah, that's why I was really happy to find that Offie. I feel like, I mean, it's kind of similar to that era. It's a little piece of that. Because besides that, it's really just stock 350. So it's like I wanted to put some kind of flair on it. I really wanted a 327. I wish I could have. I was trying to disguise it as a 327, but I guess I couldn't. So. Mom's talking about illegals. Yeah, not all of them will have time for a citizenship marriage. The Sand Mountain Ballistics is in the chat. Howdy, Hunter. How are you, man? At Zero saying, for example, Batman was on. Then I noticed it's in Spanish. Batman speaking Spanish. Yeah, I understood it, but it felt gross. Hubie's Garage is saying, that's right. In Phoenix for 125, you had the buddy there that could pick it up for you. Yeah, I bet Guy would pick it up if I asked him to. I haven't talked to him for a while since I left the shop. He was supposed to buy that 750 Holly from me, but I asked him about it and he said he was low on cash, so I didn't bug him about it. Hunter's saying I'm great. How about yourself? I'm doing really well myself, man. It's mellow over here. I'm just yapping. Nothing crazy. Mopar Man saying watching Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Danny Boyd's asking, was the Batmobile a lowrider? Yes and no. Hubie's Garage is saying, still need that AFB from the shop. I sure do. I mean, I should just grab it. No one's going to use it. No one's going to use it. The funniest thing about working in a classic car shop and you're the only one with a classic car, it's kind of a strange feeling. Yeah, no, here's a couple things I needed to grab. I don't understand why. What's the point of having parts sit around for years and years, especially if you're not going to take them to the swap meet? It's like, do something with them. Oh, someone's butchering Benny King over there. I can't do it. I got to close the window. 2 seconds, guys. Stare at the white wall. And for my next act, Jesse Owens. Oh dear. Benny King is twisting in his grave. I could still hear it. Can you guys hear it? That's kind of what matters. You be saying, think of the content. 350 Chevy Carb comparison. Q-Jet versus AFB versus Holly. I actually really like the idea. But you know what would probably be a really, really great thing to do before I did that, Hubie, was fix my gas gauge. Hunter's asking Brian if he's going to be at the No Name Nationals. I'm pretty sure he is. Brian's saying an old trick with a Quadrajet, the accelerator pump removed carefully or grinder file 1/8 inch off the steel pump rod end gives another 10 cc pump shot. No, that's pretty rad. There's, like I said, Dave got me those books, and they're just full of information, absolutely full of information. Like everybody talks about, Quadrajets running dry. They're drying out the fuel bowl and stuff, and it's like it's got little stuff in there like drilling out the fuel inlet to I forget what it was. I think 143,000, something like that, just to allow more fuel flow to get around that. Now they're doing Simple Minds. You went Ben E. King to Simple Minds. I'm offended. Charlie's saying crickets, music, and the occasional train. Yeah, pretty much. The crickets are loud here, which is kind of cool. I like it. There was frogs too a lot of the year. Not now though. Hunter's saying, luckily it's just the door jambs I've painted so far. Mexican spec. I still have to do the outside of the car, but I think one seal is no good. Ryan's saying, yes, scheduled to bracket Friday, maybe Saturday morning when I get there. Tom Brown's in the chat. Howdy, Tom. Hey, I got your email, brother. I'll send out that shifter to you. Probably, I'll get a couple extra ducats this week. I'll send it your way, man. Danny Boyd saying, who gets married on a Sunday night? Someone unfortunate. Olive saying, Benny King had a bit of a revival in the mid-late 80s. I could see like Otis Redding to Simple Minds because, like Ducky singing, Otis, baby, and then I don't know. Brian saying, leave the needle in seat stock RA, drill size 110, 115. You're not racing 500 plus horsepower. Mexican Spec saying, now the cats want my food. Hunter saying, have you ever had a door so tight that it was properly adjusted, not close at all? This is the way the weather stripping be too tight. The door of my car was so tight it actually chipped the paint. Jeez. I mean, yeah, I've heard a lot of people having that issue with the weather stripping. I don't know if it's just the repop weather stripping or what. I mean, I would assume that it'll wear in because you know how it gets, how the old weather stripping was. It's all dried out and worn in and everything. All I could think is maybe just going over it with a heat gun, assuming that doesn't ruin the adhesive. Maybe that would soften the rubber enough to where you could close it without any cracking or chipping, and then it'll start to kind of make it like the door will make its own groove in the weather stripping. I don't know. That sounds like a pain in the ass, man. I don't work on my truck like that. If it turns on and it stops, I'm good. I've never done weather stripping. All of saying Stand By Me got played a lot because of the movie. The movie's great. The novella's great. Song's great. Mexican specs and have 6 feline eyes staring me down. Better watch out, man. They're going to eat you, not the food. Danny Boyd saying Rocky Top is another wedding song. Funny Cave's asking what my job is. Funny Cave, I am a diesel fluffer. Mexican spec, that's what you think. They're going to wait until you're weak, and that's when they'll strike. Oh, Brian's talking about his bird. I wouldn't trust that thing either, Brian. That thing knows your secrets. Mexican spec saying, all right, explain the word fluffer. Funny Cave's Funny Cave Haha is asking, is it true that in the United States a McDonald's hamburger costs $1? Not for some time. They're about. I mean, I think they're two for $3.50 now, so that makes about a dollar, almost $2, and that's for a real basic cheeseburger. Mike N saying everybody's heard about the bird. Nom, 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 nom. Surfing bird. Oh, I love that song. Oh my God, September. Oh God, let me close the door too. Sorry, guys. All the noise, 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 noise. Oh God. Can't they just get married quietly? Ah. Cat, this is all your fault. You did this. Hubie's crouch saying, pretty bird. Pretty bird. BNR saying, Sound Mountain, try Armor All on the weather stripping. Yeah, just something to soften it up a little bit. Because, I mean, if it's cracking paint, that's pretty rigid. No, Hunter, the Armor All's got like conditioners in it. It'll soften rubber. Hubie's Garage is saying, would you rather have drone traffic next door like me? Yeah, at least, they're training for something. It's something productive. It's not just people getting married. Little JB Monster, I see what you're trying to do there. Tom Brown saying, almost cooked the engine on my 71 GS yesterday. Wrong oil filter in a correct box. And the only time I didn't look, pumped out all the oil in less than a minute. Caught it just in time. That's terrifying, Tom. That's no good at all. I'm glad you caught it. But God, that must have sucked. That's a waste of oil, too. That must have been annoying, man. Able D saying, best Flying Dutchman. Feeds family of 3. 3 Costco patties, half an onion, 12 slices of cheese, 2 slices on each side. We got Spencer's drink reviews and chugs in the chat. Howdy, Spencer. How are you, man? Dean saying Spencer's efficient transfer of fluids via esophagus. Uh, Danny Boyd saying I had an El Cheapo O'Reilly's oil filter leak on me once, but I might have forgotten to oil the seal. That's something I'm pretty religious about is greasing things and everything else. I got the whole Lube Tech diesel fluffer thing down. Spencer's saying I'm doing good. I'm doing well, brother. It's been a great live stream. The last couple live streams, I don't know if it's because my shorts are trending in the shorts feed, but we've been getting some different people in the chat. But it's been a lot of fun. Mexican specs and TMI. Tom Brown saying cost an extra $90 to do it twice. Damn, the oil got expensive. You would think I drove a diesel. Yeah, no, it's not cheap at all. I mean, luckily, I go to Walmart for my oil, so it saves me a few bucks. Walmart or Amazon's usually around the same price. And I'll kind of fluctuate between the two. I've been leaning towards Amazon lately just because the Walmart down here is always sold out of the Castrol I like. But yeah, that sucks. That happened to my buddy. He just changed his oil. He starts driving down the street, and he just was this huge trail of oil. And I think he had put on the filter loose, but just the same, you know what I mean. You start spitting oil right after you start the change or do the change. It's no fun. Oh man, that sucks. Hunter, he's saying first it was a paint chip, and then my damn emblem snagged on me and broke the bottom of it. Luckily, I have way better ones for when I repaint the car. Yeah, you got to hoard stuff, man, especially Pontiac stuff. They don't really make much of it, do they? Danny Boyd saying I keep using Motorcraft oil in my 3V. I like the Castrol a bunch. I think I got Rotella in the truck right now. Which you could probably use a change after the. Probably should change it. Brian saying I've been using Baldwin brand oil filters. Tom Brown saying anyone make custom metal emblems? Not that I know of, Tom. Brian, yeah, if B&R uses it, it's probably a good product. He knows a couple things. Just a couple. At Zero saying VR1. The VR1's cool. I don't see why not. It's just when the Castrol's got the high zinc Castrol and it's $20 for 5 quarts and the VR1 is 36 for 5 quarts, it just sets off alarms in my brain. Danny Boyd's saying I hate stuff snagging my clothes. Hoodie front pocket on top of a ladder. No. Sand Mountain's saying they don't even make this emblem anymore. It's the one that says Star Chief, and I couldn't find a part that broke off. If I can find it, I'm going to take 2 of my not-so-great emblems, paint them black. Tom says he uses Baldwin, Wix, Napa Gold. I got a Wix filter on the truck right now. Hubie's crowd just saying, here's a great topic. What is the best oil to use? At Zero, Castrol. It's John Forrest. Come on. Charlie Rome was out for the night. He's saying, good night, everybody. Got to get up early. Have a great week. Thanks so much for stopping in, Charlie. Always appreciate having you in the chat, man. I hope you have a great week out there. Stay safe. Check your fluids, man. Yeah, I like Castrol. It's cheaper. It seems to work well. Brian saying Moroso Racing oil filters are good, actually made by Baldwin. If you try either or most, likely to see 5 to 7 more psi oil pressure hot. That's worth a try. For the first time, as long as I've owned the truck, I have an oil pressure gauge. Chris Cadman's in the chat. Howdy, Chris. Howdy, Heidi. I actually have an oil pressure gauge, so it's kind of nice. You know, if I can see a difference, that'll be kind of cool. I had like the old Equus or whatever gauge because I had saved one from around the shop, and that one was leaking like a sieve on me. So I ordered another one. It was a whole whopping $12, and I got that thing installed. And I think I need to do some wiring. I need to do all kinds of work to that truck, and I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready to get into it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But just funds are holding me back now. So once I get past the whole being destitute thing, I'll start working. Brian saying Castrol GTX was the first modern good oil. Came out in 1968. Good enough for Bugatti and Lamborghini. Yeah, Castrol is. I think it's BMW spec, right? I don't know because I think Mercedes is Mobil 1 or Valvoline. I can't remember. Who am I kidding? But yeah, I like the Castrol and Rotella. I've used a ton of Rotella. It's kind of good for everything, I guess. I'd probably be safe just getting, 10 quarts of Rotella for the same price as 5 quarts of VR1. Hubie, you were saying that you got some more smoke with the Rotella than the Delvac, though, weren't you? Dean saying fake oil made of synthetic chain polymers. You could all use real stuff. Minar saying Euro spec is 540 or 1060. Castrol Edge makes. Yeah, my dad's got an old Mercedes that calls for 540. Tom Brown saying I've been running that new Pennzoil Platinum full synthetic after watching the comparison on Project Farm on YouTube. It came in second only to Amsoil. Been working good so far. I also like Rotella. I never used the Pennzoil because one of my old bosses would never shut up about how it has ash in it or something, and I don't know. It was just he'd ran enough stuff with engines to where I took his word for it, and I just never used it. Hunter saying, I'm going to head out, take care of everybody. After work, I got some stuff that needs buttoned up on my car. Time is getting tight. Hunter, thanks so much for stopping in, brother. I hope you have a great night. Get some rest, man. Get the car together, and be safe. Have a great time at the race. Go fast as hell. If you're going to break anything, break it there. When you see John Wilburn, if you could go up to him and just kind of like touch his like face like this, like a kind of like a Godfather thing for me. No, I'm just kidding. But have a great week, brother. Be safe. Check your fluids. He'd be saying, no, the smoke is injector related. Okay. At Zero saying, VR1. Look, it's about being cool. You wouldn't understand. He'd be saying Pennzoil is paraffin, wax bait. Okay. Chris Cabin saying, what engine pre-World War II, any builder? I'm pretty sure they made the same, like pretty much the same Stovebolt 6 I had pre-World War II. It just had a different oiling system. So I'm going to go with that. Chevy 6. Hunter, it's only 5 hours from you? That's not bad, man. 5 hours from me, I'm still in California. Actually, if I go 5 hours south, I'm pretty deep in Mexico. 5 hours east, I'd be pretty deep in Arizona. Well, not really. Hubie, how far is Blythe? What about you, Chris? What are you picking? Tom Brown saying this is the new platinum synthetic stuff is totally different than the old Pennzoil, which stood up the inside of an engine with the super sludge. Okay. I mean, if Project Farm just did the comparison, they usually do pretty, they usually do pretty decent tests. Ad Zero saying you drive slow. Needless. I don't drive that slow anymore. Then you're talking about putting VR1 in the Dodge. That's like pearls at swine, man. You shouldn't do that. Dean saying, I'm also hoping Mexican Spec will tell me where the Ethiopian Jews hid the Ark. It's in that warehouse from Indiana Jones, Dean. Brian's saying, I would like to work and drive a Duesenberg. That would be pretty badass. Tom Brown saying, plus it flows great when it's negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit here in North Dakota. Yeah, that's something I don't consider. Is a lot of people have the different driving conditions here. It's the ambient temperature doesn't fluctuate that much. Even the colder mornings, even one of the colder mornings. Oh, I had Zero saying to make it to Needles. Even on the colder mornings, it's probably between 36, 40 degrees lowest, really. Hubie saying, Arizona, Nevada, Blythe is 4 hours. Yes, the synthetics are new blends. The paraffin is the old conventional. All I'm saying, can't believe I'm feeling slightly chilly tonight. It's a pleasant change, isn't it? It's been hot as hell the past couple months. Dean, that's not fake info. Top men are looking over the Ark. You'd be saying Needles was a film location for Two Lane Blacktop. That's right. You were showing me that one guy's channel where he was touring some of the spots. The cafes were still the same. All I'm saying, it is now, but I just want to sleep. Yeah. Yeah, Chris, it's not very cold at all. Tom Brown saying it was 92 degrees today in North Dakota. So you guys get the whole. You guys obviously get a real hot summer and then just freezing ass cold winter. That's pretty solid. He's saying at Zero, where they went through the small graffiti tunnel, pulled into a park, and swapped the slicks for street tires. Yeah, Chris Cavan's talking about ball freezing cold. Yeah, I mean, if you go up to the mountains here, it's cold. The desert gets pretty dang cold. Hell, what am I saying? Out here by the beach, it'll get pretty cold, but not snow cold, not freezing cold. Danny Boyd saying, tomorrow I hope to change my oil, get all my lights working, rotate and swap my left front and rear tires. Swap left, front, and rear wheel tires, and inspect my faulty fuel pickup on my Mustang. You've been working a lot, Dan. You're getting it all done. Brian saying, when the oil pressure goes to zero, lifters and cam fails, you know it was built right by you. No, you chose the wrong motor oil. Castrol never let me down since 1987. 17 down then, 53 now, 54 in November. Yeah. I mean, what do you just drop down to the 5 weight, right? For winter? I mean, Mexican spec saying, what is cold officially? I mean, cold is probably below 20 degrees, I think. Below 20 degrees is damn cold. Because, you know what I mean? There's a huge difference when it's like 30 degrees, 36 degrees, and then when it's like 7. Brian said, been driving 100 to 160 miles per hour for almost 40 years. RV park there. Bar on the river. Tom Brown's got a good one here. He's saying, have you guys ever watched Car Chase Wonderland on YouTube? Super cool channel. Clips of old car chases from TV and movies. Yeah, I have, Tom. I really enjoy that channel. A lot of it because it gives me more movies to watch. You know, I didn't see a lot of this stuff. I obviously wasn't around in the 70s. So you see a clip from a movie, you think that's cool. And then you look up, you know, it's got the title and the description, so you can look up the movie and watch something new. I love that channel. Dean. At Zero saying Hubie's cool. Yeah, because Hubie's saying my uncle owned an RV park with a bar out on the river in Needles. Yeah, Hubie's got some really cool family history and stories. Got some great folks around him. Yeah, Brian, it's the thinner the oils. I'm always trying to tell that to my pops because he's like, I'll tell him to get the 540, the European. And he's like, no, it's not winter. The car doesn't need that. And I'm like, that's not what it's about. Mexican Spec saying, Ari, leave a comment on the Car Chase Wonderland videos. I always do. I haven't watched for some time, but there was a while there where it was pretty steady on my feed, and I was just watching different videos. I forget they had one really great clip. It was a Joe Don Baker movie, and you see the stuntman just roll this car, and I forget what it was. You see the stuntman roll this car in front of a train. The car explodes. And I mean, this stuntman is just like a few feet away from just being absolutely engulfed in flames, rolled away. It's such a badass scene. Dan saying, one of my friends was in high school as a stuntman, or was 20 years ago. You know, my buddy's been getting into that. My buddy Tyler, he's been getting into the stuntman thing, and he's good friends with Buster Reeves, who's the gentleman. I think he's one of Batman's stuntman, etc. Big guy in the business. But they're all on strike. Well, I mean, it seems like they're on strike right now because they're trying to basically turn them into NPCs. Arlie's out for the night, saying have a blessed night to all. Good night. Thanks so much for stopping in, Arlie. I really appreciate you. I'll make sure to finish watching that apple fritter video, and we always appreciate you. And have a great week, a great night, especially if you're baking. Make sure to check your fluids. Tom Brown saying Burt Reynolds, Hooper. Great movie. I got to write it down. Where's my pad? My Firefighters for Christ pad, thanks to Hubie. Brian, I'm saying I need a stunt double for that, for the hen party at my neighbor's house. Brian saying I worked on a Mercedes a month ago. Manual called for 20 weight or 2050, warm hot weather, 1980s V8, I think, 480 SL. Yeah, most everything my pops has calls for either 540 or 1040. Mexican spec, no, I haven't seen Hooper. I have not seen Hooper. I shouldn't be that close to the camera. I should be like back here or something. You guys can see my drone face. But Chris Cadman saying, doctor still can't figure out what checking my fluids means, but he still keeps telling you you're a quart low. QB's Garage is saying some of the top 10 car chase movies on YouTube channels shouldn't be in the top 10. Some put The French Connection as best car chase movie. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Tom Brown's talking about Catch Me If You Can. He's saying the old one with the 57 Chevy. Hubie and I almost watched that movie today. He pulled out a few movies and that was in the pile, but we went with the California Kid instead. And I really like that movie. So I'm going to put it down. Catch Me If You Can. Brian, I'm saying, trust me, the type of hen party where all three women are 60 plus. Brian's got all the Panthers over there. Hubie's Garage is saying we'll watch it. All right, it's on the list at least. Brian saying Mercedes are machine super accurate, Ari, like high-end racing machine. Put the valve covers off. The overhead cam lobes shine like chrome. Factory recommendation, likely safe. Yeah, exactly, Brian. I trust them. If Mercedes says to do it, it's like, yeah, you know. One of the guys I was working with down in San Marcos here, he had I think it was a late 80s diesel Benz, and it had the mechanical, it was all mechanical and everything, and that thing was pretty sweet. Excuse me. Chris Cabin saying, getting up the driveway in February is the tops for car video. Tom Brown saying, Dean, was that the one with Don Garlitz? He's asking, not saying. Oh, man. What the hell's going on out there? There's too many people here. Need to move somewhere where there's more trees than people. At Zero saying, now watching District 9. At Zero, that movie's great. I saw some meme about something where it was like the way aliens see the Earth and it only showed the United States on the globe. And I was like, what did you guys forget about District 9? You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty funky movie. It's kind of gross, too. Like the whole alien thing with the, like, crustacean alien. It's got layers. Danny Boyd saying, I always loved Garlitz on ESPN back in the day, back in the late 90s covering car shows. Mexican Spec saying Big Bird is not on the Mexican show. They have green. They have a green bird here. They weren't down with Big Bird. They're like, no, that's not for us. I always thought Big Bird was kind of a kiss ass anyway. Hughes Garage is saying Bullet, Vanishing Point, Gone in 60 Seconds, Smokey and the Bandit, and even Ronin are the best car or the great car chase movies. Yeah, definitely. Chris Cadman's asking how the C10 apartment is working out. It's working out great, Chris. You know, I the cab is pretty spacious, and because it's California, I was thinking about renting out a small portion of the bed as an Airbnb. Add zero center like ants without a queen, so they're devoid of leadership, except Christopher. Hubie saying the Blues Brothers too. I love the Blues Brothers, needless to say. Danny Boyd saying California Kid, Final Chase. That one was great too. Chris Cadman's asking if I got the hot tub in yet. No such luck. No such luck. Mexican Spec saying put new wood in your bed so you can ask more for the Airbnb. Rustic 1960s long bed available for weekend. Sad part is some hipster would rent it. Some hipster would rent it and be like, we actually, we didn't really want to do the hotel thing, so we spent the night under the stars in the back of this old truck. Corvette Summer, that was one of the other movies you pulled out, wasn't it, Hubie? He's got all the good stuff. He's got all the all the good stuff. Just dropped my cake. I'm dropping my cake. That's Rosie and rustic, like actual rust. Tom Brown saying, I love Corvette Summer. It's the first movie I ever saw at the drive-in. Mexican Spec saying, people are living in burned out RVs where you are. The bed of the truck isn't much different. Rustic. Hubie's Garage is saying the best Bandit movie was the first one on VHS. When they switched to DVD, they ditched the open exhaust 4-speed Trans Am for a mufflered automatic Trans Am. Buford's Pontiac sounded meaner. Hubie's Garage is saying they changed the soundtrack when Bandit went to DVD. You know what? They did that with The Outsiders as well. Like the original Outsiders had a couple more scenes. It had a soundtrack. It had like I forget, Out of Limits. That song, that surf song is like, it sounds like the Twilight Zone almost. Like that's what played when they were fighting and stuff. The Rumble was longer. They did that to the Outsiders too. I don't know why they do that. Is it rights? Is it like, do they have to switch the format so they can get the rights to put the movie on DVD? Do they just trim it up to think, oh, this is much better now? I don't know. Chris Cadman saying, I ride mini bikes. Tom Brown saying, I was just thinking of King of the Mountain. That's an awesome movie. I'm unenlightened, Tom. Yeah, I don't know why they're always doing that with movies. They switch them up. Like Netflix, they did this the same thing with Taxi Driver. And, I kind of understood the edits on Taxi Driver. Admittedly, I understood. It was like, okay, I get it. But You be saying, I have the VHS copy, but can't burn a copy to DVD. Brian M. saying it must have something to do with the rights. For example, newer releases of Grand Theft Auto games are missing some of the music soundtracks. That's kind of a bummer because the Grand Theft Auto video games always had great soundtracks and radio stations. At Zero saying, Bandit, best line. When we get home, I'm going to punch your mama in the mouth. What is Mexican Spec saying here? He's saying Abelardo is the name of the Big Bird character in Mexico. Tom Brown saying, I'm pretty sure Dodge took the engine noise soundtrack from the Wraith for their new electric Challenger. It sounds just like it. I liked what Tony said. It sounded like it sounded like a Puma stuck in a concrete mixer. Flowers? I don't even know. Chris Cadman saying, can I already do a Canadian accent? It's kind of difficult for me. I haven't watched enough Letterkenny. Beaker 138 is in the chat. Howdy, brother. Welcome. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. Canadian would be hard for me. It'd be... And take off, eh? You have to be like, so you got to say bud. You got to say bud a few times. If you say bud a few times, it's kind of difficult. I don't know. You talk about the Oilers or something. Great team, by the way. Tom Brown's talking about the Red Green show or Strange Brew. Tom Brown, Hubie showed me Red Green as well. It was the episode where he had the bumper jack on the car and he's just lifting the bumper up and up and up and up. Yeah, I don't really know much about Canada. I know about, hockey, sadness. You'd be saying the toilet carburetor on the Camaro is epic. Brian saying, too bad Dodge ditched the Hellcat supercharged V8 over gas mileage cap. Yeah. I mean, I read about that a while ago. It was like the whole, because, I mean, the Dodge Fiat Stellantis type thing, they want to put that Hurricane engine in them, right, Brian? Tom Brown saying the gull-wing doors and the oil change episodes are the greatest. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of far from Canada, though, Chris. It's a faraway place. I know that's where they filmed the Empire Strikes Back. Um, I don't know if you guys have polar bears or not. Ryan saying it could be okay, no V8 rumble. Yeah, well, and then the turbo, it's like you lose the inline six grunt too, so it's kind of sad there. Make sure I'm not losing anything here. Brian saying it's a bit Euro to me, inline six supercharged. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Big cold place. Yeah, I don't know. I know the place is beautiful. I mean, you got the Northern Lights and everything else. Poutine. Um, you've got Justin Castro as your prime president, king, whatever. Ubi's Garage is saying combine the car and boat trailer to avoid embarrassment at the ramp. Is another. You show me that one. Dan's asking if they make bipolar bears. I don't like bears. That's I don't have many fears. That's one of them. Bears. I don't like them. Olive saying back after closing too many tabs. Chris Cadman saying them bears will run you down. See, that's what I can do, Chris. I'll just say what you say, but try to say it Canadian. Them bears will run you down, eh? Yeah, I don't trust them. They have them here, up north. People think they're like cute or something. I don't like bears. I don't. Danny Boy said, I don't want to meet any large cats either. Dan, you just got to make sure to speak to them in a monotone. No. See, look, the cat's already. What are you doing? No. No. He's pissed. What are you doing? What are you doing? No, he's not happy about it. Angel Garcia saying, no, no, you can always outrun a bear. Welcome to the chat, Angel. Brian saying 10 millimeter, 45 ACP, 44 Magnum, 500 Magnum. Only chance, one shot you have against an angry bear. Yeah, Brian, I want to get when I move up north, I'll get a 500 probably. Abel D saying I talked to bears in 45 ACP or 303 Brit. Abel, that's really awesome. You have a sporterized Enfield or what? What's shooting the 303? Tom Brown saying you only need to be faster than the guy behind you. That Zero saying Hank will hunt Ari due to me being an actual jerk. Yeah, I'm a jerk to the cat. He'll stalk me. He'll get this low meow and he'll go, ah. I think he's trying to mimic me in the monotone. And he'll actually chase me around unless I get the spray bottle or the sandal. It's the only thing that'll stop him. Yeah, Dean, I don't like drones. I don't like bears. I have a terrible fear of large women with small feet. There's a few more. I'm equipped, Hubie. I'll get that cat. At Zero, this is still your spray bottle, too. This thing sprayed like 7 cats. No, no, I don't. Come here, cat. Come on. Don't be a dick. Come on. Fine. Abel D saying it's a World War II 41 stamp. Nice. You'd be saying, I bet the cat sprayed more. uh, Little bastard. He is. That's your cat, Hubie. Good old Hubie. Taking the cat. Come on. Come on. You guys haven't met Hubie's cat. Oh, man. Hank Hubie. See, you can tell he's pissed. That's not a happy cat. He's pissed. Tom Brown saying 500 Express will stop a bear right now. Brian saying 90 days in, Ari, asked for a raise. Always got to ask for a raise, man. Nope, cat, you stay. You have to stay so people can see you. Pretty soon, Hubie, it's going to be like you're going to be walking through a mall somewhere and someone's going to be like, oh my God, you're Hubie, right? You're the one with that black and white cat, right? You know, like I'll get some like Mandela effect on people and they'll associate this cat with you. He's purring. He's happy about it. Cat. Look at the camera. Show them your face. At Zero says he's got a Hitler mustache. I don't think the cat looks like the Führer. Go. Be free. Brian M. saying, Hubie's Garage, which would you prefer, a cat or a 30-year-old hand-fed parrot? Hubie's Garage is saying, Brian M., my wife bought every animal from the Ark. I always ended up caring for them when the novelty wore off. We had 4 birds and they were messy. And now you got the 4 cats and a little dog. I like the little dog, though. Roxy's a winner. And the cats. I really like the cats. Tom Brown saying, a lady I used to work for had 5 Maine Coon breed cats in her house. Those things are huge. Yeah, they're all luxurious, too. They get the frilly ears and everything. The vet designated him as a domestic short hair. But judging by the neighborhood that he kind of wandered up in, I think he's a Mexican cat. A Mexicat. Right, cat? Hubie's Garage is saying the dog's nickname is Chalk Block. El gato de panzón. El gato la puta. Mexican spec. Do you think he's Mexican? Does he have that look? Stupid cat. He's a good cat. I'm lucky to have him. Yeah, the chalk block dog. It's always under the. It'll always find a way under your feet. Like when I was working on my truck over at Hubie's, uh, I was under the truck, and I turn, and the dog's like just right next to me. Hubie's garage is saying he'll never leave your side. He's definitely my cat. But Beaker 138 saying I had to bury one of mine tomorrow. My sweet schnickles. I'm sorry about that, Beaker. It's kind of a bummer to lose the cats. They're buddies. Even if they're doing their own thing, they're buddies. Brian saying backing up, Aria Holly. I have a Brian. The one I have, it's a 750, but it's got vacuum secondaries. So I was thinking I could probably make some use out of it. I felt like it was complete overkill for the truck being a 750, but with the vacuum secondaries, I feel like I might be able to work with it. Abel D's asking if I'll be covering the No Name Nationals live. I should just green screen myself, pretend like I'm there. Dave Lewis is saying there are 4 or 5 cats that hang around my shop. No idea who owns them. Dave, you got to give them names. Just name them after country artists. Like, yeah, that's Merle Haggard, the cat. This one's actually Porter Wagner. That one's Loretta. Hubie, say I'm surprised you didn't smell her sitting there. Beaker 138 saying she went in my girl's arms, good as can go. Yeah, that's what matters. You only love them as much as you can. It's not like they can last forever, so you take good care of them, you give them some love like that. It's all you can do. Brian saying I set up all quadrojets to 930 seconds float level. I'll write it down, Brian. I need to get back into that carb. I bought a rebuild kit for it, but the kit was wrong. So all I pretty much changed was the accelerator pump. I greased the gaskets, cleaned it up, and threw it back together. That was all I did. So that's probably why it's not working like it should. The lazy rebuild. Got to soak it in the Berrymans like Hubie does. The caustic, toxic Berrymans. Tom Brown saying, was at a shop years ago that had a pet rabbit. It was all greasy and would eat old cork gaskets. Went back 3 years later, it was still alive. Damn. Hubie saying, Dave, those are the cool ones that keep the rodents down and you don't have to feed them. Brian saying, vacuum secondary Holly will work nice for cruising driving. A Holly double pumper gives instant burning responses, but lose cruising fuel mile per gallon. See, that's what I was thinking, Brian. I thought maybe, obviously, I'm going to be using more fuel than the Quadrajet because of those tiny primaries. But I thought maybe I would get better throttle response out of the Holly as well as, just a little more on the top end versus the Q-Jet. I don't know if I'm just shooting in the dark with that, but it was a thought. Hubie's Crowder saying, yes, film at 11. The neighborhood still stinks. That stuff's gnarly. I still smelled it on my work pants. I was like, am I just thinking that I smell the Berrymans? I'm like, no, I smell the Berrymans. Ryan saying you can try different carburetors. Yeah, like I said, I just need to fork a little money out for the spacer, and then I can try whatever, because I got that spread bore intake, so it's like if I just buy the adapter spacer deal, I can try whatever. So I figure I'll start there. Once I have some extra coin, and mess with that. There's a lot of other things I need to address on the truck too. I need to do some suspension work. I got front wheel bearings I need to do. I need a couple new tires. I got some wiring work I got to do. It's endless, endless. Brian saying tune each the best you can and experiment. Definitely, definitely. Tom Brown's asking anybody ever put 8 variable Venturi carbs on an 8 stack manifold? Not me, Tom. Chris Cadman saying wood spacer. Hubie's Garage is saying AFP best throttle response, Holly best top end, Q-Jet good economy. Good all around, but takes tuning. Hubie, I feel like I got this one. I mean, for what I did, you know what I mean? I just threw it together and threw it on there. For that, I feel like it's running pretty well. You know, if I went through and actually dialed it in, especially since Dave was kind enough to buy me literature to do so, I feel like I could probably do better with it. Also got me Vizard's Holly book, though, so, you know, I can go either way with that. Dave Lewis is saying air fuel ratio never changes due to carb size, dual quad, same mileage as a small 4-barrel. Huh. I thought of it like that, Dave. That's true because the engine's just eating all it can eat no matter what at that point, huh? I didn't consider that. Tom Brown saying a tight grain wood like birch or beech works great as spacers. They have a better heat dissipation than the poly ones. If I had like a place to work on wood, I totally would. I would make something out of that. Beech, that makes me laugh, man. I had this guy I worked with that would always suggest holistic remedies. And he was talking about having a cold once, and I was like, you know what you should do? And he's like, what? You know, you need to stand under a beech tree. And he was really upset about that. At Zero is out for the night. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Hopefully I'll see you before too long. Go get some fish and chips or something. Be safe out there. Drive slow. Check your fluids. Brian, there is a vintage Carter off of that 455 nailhead I did a couple shorts of. It's sitting at the old shop. I just need to go through and get it. I've just been avoiding that place like the plague because, you know, I don't want to deal with Ray. And by not deal with Ray, I feel like I don't want to accidentally black out and then I wake up and see, I left that one open-ended so you guys can make jokes. Yeah, exactly, Brian. I need to just go over there and get it. I've been avoiding it. It's just sitting back there on a welding table. No one's going to use it. No one has any purpose for it. To them, it's junk. And to me, it's just like, you sure you don't want that, you know? Chris Cadman saying, check your bilge. Brian saying, depending on what needs to be done for that carb spacer, I might have the tools to do it. Maybe, man. I mean, like I said, I don't really have, you don't really have a shop to work out of right now. Hubie was kind enough to let me work over there, but I don't want to make a mess in his shop. You know what I mean? There's beautiful cars over there, lots to be done. So. Dean saying, "What's the worst he could do? What's the worst he could take? You're full of content." Brian saying, "There's a fancy aluminum tag designated stating Carter Racing." See, that would be cool, you know, because that was the one thing I noticed, Hubie, when I was driving the 61. is that Edelbrock had really great throttle response. I was kind of like jealous of the, you know, off the line throttle response there. Tom Brown's asking, any thoughts on the new carb cheater that Thunderhead 289 has put out? I haven't seen it, man. I saw him using that lawnmower carb. I caught a little bit of the video. I got the gist of it, but it didn't seem like anything I wanted to try in the near future, so I haven't watched since then. Hubie's Garage is saying my Carter had a green triangle tag on it. That's the factory designation for the 420 friendly Carter. Ryan's saying it's an early version. Yeah, I forget. Those Tri-5s are not the newest cars, you know. It's pretty, it was almost a 70-year-old car. Chris Cabin saying, how's about some rock and guitar? I need to get a guitar. I was looking online. Amazon's got some cheapies that look decent. Dan saying, a drone with bear claws. Wait, what? God, no. Bear drones. Tom Brown saying Department of Emissions a-holes. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of irony there. Hubie's Garage is saying, go get your guitars. Well, they're up in Washington, Hubie. Chris Cadman saying, what do you want? You know, Chris, I've got some decent ones. You know, I got the Gretsch, I got the Electromatic, I got I got a Les Paul Special, and I have a Martin D15 that needs some work, but they're all up in Washington, so it's like I have some nice guitars, so I figured just buy a cheapie that I could throw around, you know. And I saw some of those parlor guitars on Amazon, and they seemed like a little tiny, like a little Marty Robbins guitar. You'd be saying, tell your brother to drive them down. He wouldn't do it. Yeah, it'd be nice to just buy a cheapie. The little parlor guitar is very cool because I could sit here and like serenade on camera. But I haven't, you know what I mean? I got money I need to throw at the truck before I start buying stupid stuff. So I figure I'll go that route first. Tom Brown saying, I'm planning on running LP gas on something early next year. Oh, geez. Good old Dean. Dean, you're going to confuse me again, man. But yeah, cheap guitar would be nice. That way, you know, if I feel like singing you guys some Woody Guthrie or whatever, it can be done. Nathan's Mopar Garage was suggesting that I, you know, play a song. He's been asking me for like a year, you know, and I feel bad because it's like, you know, people don't really ask for much, you know. So it's like if I can help folks, I'm happy to do it. Or, you know, entertain folks. That's what I'm here for, right? Yapping on the YouTube. But yeah, I want to try some carbs. Danny Boyd, I love that song, man. I used to make fun of my pops. I'd sing that song as I never picked cotton, but my mother did, and my brother did, and my sister did. But I'd sing it. And my daddy died young. And in the real song, guys, he sings "Working in a Coal Mine." But I sing, and my daddy died young, smoking fucking opium. UB's Garage is saying we have some propane powered super gas cars out there. I see some, I mean, I see a lot of CNG trucks. I mean, the only thing I've ever run off propane was a forklift. Chris Cadman saying my best guitar is a pawn shop Strat. Yeah, the pawn shops are great. Again, though, I just wanted something cheap. Something cheap. Buff Del Campo's in the chat saying, geez, I'm late. I'm late, Buff. I'm always on late. Tony's show is SNL, and my show is like midnight at the Apollo. How you doing, Buff? How'd the week treat you, man? Buff saying we've been working overtime on the Valiant. You guys still working? Or did you finally get done? 10 saying I ran a grill on propane a few times, ran the AC on my Fox body on propane too. Oh, instead of Freon? Weird. I didn't know you could do that. Buff Del Campo saying Kim fell asleep. I'm editing a video. Yeah, you guys have been working real hard on that Valiant. You got it together. If I recall, I mean, there was a ton of work to be done on that car. A ton. Whew, that's another one too. Sure would be nice to have a garage, then it's like I could have the truck in one spot and then the Dart in the other spot and work on one when I had parts to work on one and then work on the other when I had parts to work on the other. It's almost like it would make sense. I would even have a place to put my tools. Amazing. Buff Del Campo saying the car isn't ready. 51-year-old car issues, mostly electrical. That's something I'm kind of worried about too, is people explain to me that Mopar wiring's like, oh, well, it might catch fire. And I'm just like that's concerning. Why do you guys say it so nonchalant like it happens with every car? That's concerning. But I don't know. My Dart's in decent condition. Danny Boyd's saying that's just the ammeter. Ryan saying a circuit amp meter. Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot about the Slant 6. The rest of the Dodge, definitely still soaking in. Ryan saying convert to a B circuit voltmeter. Ryan, I'm too dumb for that stuff, man. If you draw me the wiring diagram, I can do it. But until then, I don't know what I'm looking at. Buff saying we will eliminate the ammeter and install a voltmeter. Yeah, the volts. I guess, you don't really need to measure amps anyway. It makes more sense to run the volts. Plus, it's the danger of the ammeter. I have like a vague concept of that, but I've never dealt with it. So, Brian, you were suggesting that like a 100 to 200 amp alternator for the truck, and I don't have a Delco on it right now. I have a Power Master on it, and it charges well and everything. Those lights are just dim. They're not the grill's got some damage on it, so I don't really have them as straight as they should be. And I should just wire it to where my high beams are running, but I don't know. I've got that nice single wire Power Master on there, so I mean it's not anything too bad. Terry Grover's in the chat. Howdy, Terry, saying hello. Ari, just got your live. I can't stay. Got to get to bed. Just wanted to say hello to everyone and you. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great, Terry. Glad to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing well over there as well. I'm always on really late, man, so I'll let you get your rest. But thanks for stopping in just the same, and have a great week. I know you're doing something crazy with a Ford engine. You're making something fast, man, but make sure to check your fluids just the same. Buffto Campo saying, I bought a USB connection box, and it has a digital voltmeter to a 10th volt. I can see what's going on with that. Chris. Brian saying, I could go modern LED lights, like old school headlights yet. I like old. Yeah, me too, Brian. I'm not big on it. I mean, if I was that worried about it, again, I could run the wire to the high beams. That way I'm using all 4 headlights. I could probably, if that's not enough, I could always probably do a relay. Just try the basic stuff. Right now, this place is so light polluted that I don't really worry about it much. It probably looks more dramatic on the videos, but I see okay for the most part. Chris Cadman, saying Ari. Terrence Seymour saying, when I had my electrical problem in the C body along with the loose connection on the ammeter, I also found some melted wiring, fire hazards in the bulkhead connector. Good old Mopars. Sometimes, it'll happen. I mean, I've melted a headlight switch in the truck. Because in this truck, the later 60s, they had a separate ground wire. But this truck, the dash, is in fact the ground. So it's dependent on where the switch goes through the dash being clean and the connection being really tight. And it was super loose, and I didn't realize that. This is like a last minute repair before I headed home. And I'm like, what's that smell? And then I reach and I realize, like, oh, shh, you know what I mean? It's pretty bad. All I'm saying, this nice weather's totally putting me to sleep. I'll be out early. Have a good week, everyone. Olive, have a great week yourself. Glad the weather's kind of calming you down. I hope everything's well over there. Get the 1911. That'll be fun. Have a great week. Check your fluids. Chris Cadman saying, gave you a thumbs up. Thanks, brother. Brian saying, a GM CS144 alternator puts out 90 amps, 14.4 volts at engine idle speeds. Peaks out around 140 to 400 amps, 200 amp, 300 amp, 400 amp. Aftermarket starter kit needed for those high amps. Yeah, I mean, I was charging it, I think 14.8 when I checked the system. So I thought that was pretty healthy. That was 14.8 volts. Buff Del Campo saying, I'm about to load up a new video covering the electrical issues. There was some real hillbilly stuff like fuse wrapped in foil. You'll see. Oh, it's always something. Oli's Garage is in the chat. Howdy, Oli, saying, when I rewire old junk, I just upsize the headlight wires to 12 gauge or 14 gauge and make sure the light switch has its own dedicated 12 volt, 30 amp supply. Yeah, the fire hazard thing's kind of a bummer. Hubie's got me pretty religious about the fire extinguisher now. I like to have one standing by. Which reminds me, I got to give you your fire extinguisher back, Hubie, by my own. Terrence Seymour saying, sounds like a great design. Yeah, I take the earth lead off when I park. Park it up. Up in the shed now just to give a better chance of not self-combusting. Hubie's garage is saying I still have an amp meter in one of my 55s. I need to get it out of there. Yeah, if Ole does it, I believe it. He's pretty clever with those dang cars. Plus, he deals with Fords, so he's got to be pretty clever. Ole's garage is saying electricity flows like water, bigger pipe, less resistance. That's a good idea, Ole. I could probably it'd be definitely safe to redo that portion of the harness anyway, so I think that'd be a good route. Brian's going to bed, saying catch you later. Yeah, guys, I'll probably Buff Del Campo saying 22 shells that'll flow some current. I'll probably go ahead and call it a night if it's all right with you guys. It's I'm right at about 2 hours 20 minutes, and I'm rambling on and on, rambling. Ole's Garage is saying Ford always skimped on wire size. I've had fantastic luck just going up a size or two in wire. Definitely, man. I think I'm going to try that out. I'll try that out. Make sure to run. I don't even have my high beams connected right to a switch right now. So, I mean, I'd like to do that as well. And if that doesn't make a huge difference, I could try the relay thing. But that's 4 solutions right there. So that's pretty cool, right? That's something. Hubie's Garage is saying our new fire apparatus with all the wild electronics have 2 300 amp alternators in them. Jeez. Ole's Garage is saying, Dean Stevenson, you sleep with your HEI, don't you? But yeah, guys, I'll probably go ahead and call it a night. What's that one, Beaker? Buff Del Campo saying, how hot does an HEI get? Ole's Garage is saying, sorry I got here late. Man, the show's already late. It's no worries at all. I'm glad you popped in just the same. I'd probably stay on, but I'll end up falling asleep on you guys. Plus, I'm streaming off my phone, and now it's low battery. I could plug it in, but then I got to hold it up and Cloverfield with this thing. So. Terrence is saying, I've used a 308 shell to fix a Hilux alternator in the middle of nowhere before. Clean the commutator bars with it. That's badass. The NATO solution. But yeah, guys, it was a great stream. I really appreciate all you guys coming through. Everybody, keeps the chat going. That pretty much is the whole show, is just you guys teaching me things. So Chris Cadman saying Ari needs to poop. No, I'm actually, pretty regular, man. 1 in the morning, pretty decent. But no, I always appreciate everybody coming through. The chat's great. I'm always learning something from you guys. It helps me kind of think through some of my issues with the truck, whatever it may be. Gives me ideas, and it's a great time. So it's so I'll call it for the week. Everybody, be safe out there. Have a great week. Don't hurt nobody. And above all, make sure to check your fluids very seriously. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great night. Check your fluids. Watch out for drones and bears. Drone bears. Watch out for drone bears. Thanks, guys.